Hey guys, this is Frankie. I'm excited about today's episode as we interview another great guest right here on Winter Haven TV. You guys have tuned in today and you're going to catch some great information from our guest that's going to highlight some of the things that are going on right here in Winter Haven. I can't wait to show you what's going on here. So tune in right here and let's get this show started right here on Winter Haven TV. Happy Monday, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in today. For those of you who might be jumping on the live here in a minute, or those who watch this on a replay, we got a good one for you this morning. And for those of you who are tuning in, maybe you're at work, maybe you're at home, maybe you're enjoying a long week of holidays because this is Thanksgiving week. And so we're excited about that. I got a great couple. We actually have a couple today on our show today, and I'm excited to introduce this couple to you guys. They're very interesting, very great, got an awesome background, and we're going to introduce those to you right now. Matter of fact, I even forgot how to pronounce their last name. I wanted to ask them that, and I forgot to ask. But I'm going to introduce them to you right now. And guys, everybody give a good, warm welcome to Rob and Mar. By the way, how do you pronounce your last name? I forgot to ask you that before we got on here.
So it's an Irish name, and it's Geraghty, pronounced Geraghty. Or in Irish, it's Macurrichtic.
Okay, awesome. And so you can hear Rob's accent, and you got Mar here. You guys were telling me right before we got on, you moved in the Winter Haven area. You guys I believe you live in Lake Alfred. Is that right?
We actually live in Davenport. We have an office in Lake Alfred right now.
Okay, so awesome. So you're in the area, and you guys moved in this area, I believe you said in 2018, right?
Yes.
Awesome. So tell everybody what brought you to the area. What was the idea behind it, or the attraction to move in the area?
So prior to this, we lived in Ireland for 5 years, and we, Rob grew up there, so he loved living there. I told him that I love the U.S. The U.S. is the greatest country on earth, and that we needed to move back. So I told him he could pick any state of all 50 states, and he picked Florida. I told him at least there had to be a state farm there so I could go into agency. And he picked Florida, and we ended up wanting something central, wanting something around with a lot to do, wanting a sense of community. And Central Florida seemed to have all of it. So we landed in Davenport, and we've set up in Lake Alfred, now Winter Haven. And we've loved going to Legoland. We've loved going to all the restaurants. Winter Haven is one of those cities that keeps growing, and there's so much to do. And we just constantly keep falling in love with it.
Yeah. Now, you guys mentioned restaurants. I got to ask, what's some of your favorite, maybe top 2 restaurants you've been to?
Well, my favorite is Harbourside by an absolute country mile. And a lot of people have been telling me about Arabella's. So I'm going actually meeting a few friends there next week for lunch. So that's definitely Harbourside for me.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the Fatan on Avenue O in Winter Haven.
I have not tried that one, though.
If you like Vietnamese food, it's pho is it's like a big giant bowl of soup that's probably about the size bigger than your head. And it seems like chicken broth, but I'm not really sure what it is. And then there's noodles, and they put the super thin meat in there that cooks when they put it in.
Wow.
So right before they serve it. So it's unbelievable, and they have great food there. So I'm always trying to convince him to go there every day.
Yeah. And you said what street is that on again?
Avenue O.
Avenue. Okay. Gotcha. Interesting. All right. So tell us, let's go back a little bit. Did you guys meet in Ireland, I assume, or where did you guys meet? Tell us that story.
So go ahead with that one.
Well, this is a story I don't tell too many people. I used to play a war game online, and where you had a little tribe, and somebody kept killing my tribe. And after a bit of investigation, I found out it was a girl in Minnesota who was terrorizing us, is the best word, I think. So we ended up getting chatting and became great friends, like for quite a long time, and then met up and fell in love, and the rest is history.
Oh wow, that's very interesting. So you were in Ireland, she was in Minnesota, and you guys were gaming. And that's how you met. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you guys fall in love. She moves to Ireland. How long did you guys stay in Ireland together? Well, you grew up there, Rob, but how long did you guys live there together as a couple?
So with Mara, I dragged Mara over very, very willingly, actually, because Ireland has that history, that greenness, the castles, and all that. And she spent 5 years there. I don't think she realized it's cold all the time. It's wet all the time. It's very green, very beautiful, but it's small, cold, and wet. So eventually, 5 years. So for the whole 5 years she was there, she talked about State Farm. We don't have State Farm in Ireland, and so she talked about two things: State Farm and life insurance. This was her passion. This was her love. And over the course of 5 years, she ground me down to move back. Like she said earlier, she said, pick a state as long as it has State Farm. I have an uncle out in Tampa on Beta Bay Boulevard, and he is my favorite person in the world. So I said, right, I want to be near him. Mara wanted to be a bit more central, so we picked right in the middle of the two, between Orlando and Tampa.
Oh, neat. Well, you picked a good area. I mean, obviously, you guys have been here since 2018, and it's a growing area, as you guys pointed out and seen. But also, it's still got some small town vibe to it as well. So it's got a little bit of everything. So you guys definitely picked a good area. So far, what do you guys like about the area since you moved here in 2018?
So, well, the first thing for me is it's a little bit more like home. Like, there's a lot of cities around Central Florida are pop-up cities where there's no history there, but there's almost none of that in Ireland. Every town has history. Every town has, beautiful buildings. You'll find people in the local bar who can tell you stories from 50 years ago. And Winter Haven's very similar to that. Whenever we go down for a drink, we'll go down to the Apple Lounge or somewhere, and you always find somebody who can tell you what it was like 60 years ago or 50 years ago. And to me, that's something I love places with history. I don't like pop-up towns so much.
And speaking of history, you guys were telling me that you have a great extensive history or background in the music world. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my dad was a musician as well. He played with all kinds. I won't even go into the list of who he played with. He turned, what age is he now? He's turned 70.
He just turned 70.
2 days ago, I think. And he's played with everyone you could ever imagine. Oasis and Shirley Bassey, you name it, he's played with them. And so I took that up straight from him. I knew when I was a kid, I'm going to be a musician. It was always going to happen. So I'm a sax player. I played with Nancy Sinatra when I was younger. I played with Frankie Valli, the Four Tops, the Temptations, who else? The Doors. After Jim Morrison died, I'm not that old, but all these bands. So when they came into Ireland, they'd pick up, the local brass section or whatever. So I was always on call every week, where whatever big gig came into town, I'd be on that. I also toured with Riverdance for years around Europe. We hit almost every city in Europe. I think we hit like 33 states in the US while we were doing that. And and I was in the Irish Army band as well, that was interesting. That was the only job I ever had to do push-ups as part of my role.
Wow. So did your dad play sax as well?
Yeah, sax as well, yeah. So I grew up like headbanging on a Saturday. They'd be playing 80s music, Phil Collins and Paul Simon or something. So I immediately fell in love with that.
Wow. So how long was it after you guys dated or started seeing each other, or became a couple, I should say, before he pulled out the sax, Mar, and really showed you he could play?
I don't know. I don't know. He didn't pull it out very quickly, but he told me what he did. And at that point in time, I grew up in Minnesota. So hearing that he did Riverdance, I'm just like, what is that? Right. He did the voice. He was doing the voice of Ireland when I met him, I think. And so I knew what the TV show was, but I didn't know if they actually had a band there. because I'm not a big TV watcher either. So
Right.
I learned that he did that kind of thing, but I didn't know the extent of how good he actually was until other people told me.
Wow. And of course, I'm assuming you've heard him play since then, and so tell us what that was, what's that like to hear the guy that you met gaming who can play the sax like some people we know that's been on made some records around the world.
It's great. The thing about him is that so he plays the sax. He played the sax for, I don't know, 25 years or something like that. But the thing is though, is that he played clarinet, flute. It seems like every single instrument that he touches, he can play, but he can play well. So I played piano for 9 years. I was in competitions. I won competitions. And this guy will come over and sit down at the piano and make me look terrible.
Wow.
Absolutely terrible. So he'll sit down and just start playing because he can play by ear and he knows the chords and everything. And I'm just sitting there kind of listening to him. I'm like, okay, well, I feel a little bit not very good because anything he touches, he taught himself how to play the bass guitar. He taught himself the actual guitar. It's just a recorder from like, a third grader music class.
Wow.
He picks it up and he can start playing songs, which nobody can do that. Like I can play one song because I memorized it back in third grade.
Right.
But he can actually pick it up. He knows the sounds and just starts playing it like as if he has done it forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not just the sax. It's pretty incredible. He can do pretty much play any instrument that has a sound.
Yeah. It's almost like
great to see him.
Yeah, it's almost like that's not fair. We had to work hard to learn one or two songs, and you can do it in a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah, that's gifted and talented for sure. We, now you got me interested. I want to hear. Maybe we can hear one day down the road in the future how you what you sound like. So I love the sax. Obviously, I grew up with Kenny G as being one of the main guys that we would obviously listen to in America. So, and matter of fact, my brother-in-law, he was on a flight with him not long ago. It just happened to end up being on the same flight, and they're like, "Oh, this is Kenny G. He's still got the long hair and everything." So, anyways, all right. So great. So you guys moved here in 2018, and you've been in. You're in the Auburn. You live in Auburndale. You have your office set up in Lake Alfred. Tell us why State Farm, because it sounds like that's been something that you've really been targeting, Mar, for a while here. And tell us what is it about State Farm that you really, saw yourself being involved in, and why we should be interested in that as well.
So I actually, I have kind of a little bit of a different story with how that happened. Back in 2012, I was working for Ameriprise Financial. I had my Series 7. I was going to be a financial planner with Ameriprise. I was living in Las Vegas. Life was great. The only thing is that my dad had been diagnosed with pancreatic cancer previously before that. And he was doing well. He was surviving through it miraculously. But in 2012, my mom was diagnosed with ALS. So if you remember the Ice Bucket Challenge.
Yes.
Where everybody's, So as you know, that's terminal. So I moved back from Las Vegas to Minnesota to take care of my parents. And during that time, I had I had internal transfer issues within Ameriprise to be able to transfer into Minneapolis. So I had a family friend who worked for State Farm for an agent for about 20 years. And she was like, Mara, we're hiring. I think you'd be a good fit. Why don't you try it? And I was like, okay, I'll apply. So I applied and I ended up falling in love. And I never expected that this was where I was going to end up. But I learned, first of all, State Farm does things a lot differently than most companies. So all the big companies that are the 800 numbers, what we do differently is we sit down with our insurers and we educate them, because all people know is that I have to have insurance, but I don't know what it's for or what it does. So in the event that something goes wrong and I need to use it, I have no idea what it covers. I just know I have full coverage.
Yeah.
Which that's a term, but not really a term. So what we do is we sit down and we look at all of their insurance. We look at their we explain their auto insurance, we explain their homeowner's insurance, we explain their life insurance. And we put together different packages for different people. that fits their individual needs, because a lot of people think that insurance is one of those things that one size fits all, which is not the case, because the more you have to protect. So the thing about State Farm is that we've been the biggest in auto insurance since 1942. We've been the biggest in homeowners insurance since 1964. We have these unbelievable life policies with State Farm that nobody even knows about, which, we have whole life policies, we have universal life policies, and we have term policies, but they all have really unique features. So for example, like with our term policies are all guaranteed renewable. So in the event that somebody becomes uninsurable during that term, you have options still. It doesn't just disappear after the term is up and just blow into the wind. You have options to convert it. You have options to do things with it, which most companies don't have. Mm-hmm. So in terms of State Farm, we've been around. We pay our claims. And one of the greatest things that we have what made me fall in love the most is it's not actually that insurance part, which is very interesting to me, but it's the people that you meet along the way. Because I'm more of a homebody, as you know, that I was sitting around playing war games. And the thing is that I have met so many people throughout doing this that I otherwise wouldn't have met. Yeah. From all different walks of life, all different types of people, all different backgrounds. And you get to build these relationships. They are longer term relationships. And you get to see these people evolve. You get to see their lives change. You get to see their kids grow up, and you're a part of that. So that's one of the nicest things, is that you're helping people for generations.
Yeah. Well, that's neat. And so you're fully licensed to do all three, I believe it is, right? Auto, homeowners, and life insurance. Is that right?
Yes.
Awesome. So someone could come and sit down and really review with you what you guys offer. And then it sounds like you guys do a consulting approach where you're going to show them a customized way that fits their needs. And it really helps them understand, a better idea about what they need versus just, hey, here's something and here's the price. So is that right? Is you sit down with them, really, really go over why they need it and what makes best sense for them?
Yes.
Awesome.
Because it's important that people understand what they have as well.
Yeah.
And Rob,
I was going to say, let's tell the truth. For the common person or even the average person, life insurance and the different types of life insurance can be very easily misunderstood or not even clear on what it is and why this and that. And so be able to sit down with someone who actually, understands how to communicate that's important.
Yes. And that's actually, because that's what made me want to open the office, is because when I was 31 years old, I found myself then parentless, because I took care of my parents, and I was now 31 years old. I was a full-fledged adult. And I hear this all the time from people who are in their 50s. My kids are grown up. I don't need life insurance, which I was 31. I was lost. As soon as I lost my parents, I didn't know what to do, because everything I'd known my entire life was now gone. And I didn't know how life worked. I didn't know how to, I didn't want to get out of bed in the morning. And I don't think a lot of people realize that once that does happen, you're in a position of, you need to process that. You need to be able to sit and think about what you're going to do. And, most people don't like their jobs.
Yeah.
And so the last thing you want to do to your child is have that happen to them, and then have them have to get up the next day to go to work, to a job that they probably don't like very much, just so that they can pay their bills and eat.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
well, guys, I'm going to go to a commercial break. When I come back, I'm going to ask Mar a very important question. Maybe I'll ask her a question that makes her think for a moment about why people should sign up for life insurance other than they should have some kind of benefit for their family when they die, because that's obviously the main pitch for most life insurance. So I'll give her a minute to think about it, why she does. I'm going to play this commercial, and we'll be right back.
All right.
Hey guys, my name is Frankie, and I am with Winter Haven TV, an absolutely new media outlet for all things Winter Haven. So if you live in Winter Haven or the surrounding areas, you want to tune in to Winter Haven TV. And if you own a business or if you have something that's really interested, that's for and relevant to the Winter Haven residents and people that live in the area, we want to interview you. You can reach out to us at Winter Haven TV inc@gmail.com. That's Winter Haven TV inc@gmail.com. We would love to talk to you about setting up an interview so we can show everyone about who you are, your business, your story, and you are a part of the community of Winter Haven. Thanks, guys, for reaching out to us. Thanks, guys, for watching, and keep tuned to all the things that are happening right here at Winter Haven TV. All right, we're back. Winter Haven TV live here with Mar and Rob. These guys have come on and agreed to talk about their business. They are State Farm agents. I asked a question right before the cut of the commercial here. And, you know, Mar, let's tell the truth. A lot of insurance, life insurance is pitched over the same reason. It's a very important reason for people to have something in place in case something happens, that their family is not left with a bill in an empty bag, if you will, right? And that's when, you know, people die. They have some kind of way to not only bury them, but take care of their family. So, you know, that's the typical thing. And if you've been around for a minute, you've heard that time and time again. But I wanted to know, is there another important reason that you can give the audience that are listening, other than that, why they should sign up and have life insurance policy?
Absolutely. So there are permanent policies. There's term policies and there's permanent policies. So with the permanent policies, they have what are called living benefits. So in the event that you want to take a loan, they build cash value within the policy. So you continue paying your premiums. The premium never changes. But with those policies, they accumulate cash value. You can either withdraw or take a loan against that cash value. So if you want to take it out and go put a down payment on a house, you can. Or if something comes up and you want to use it for everyday purchases or whatever you'd like to do, you do have that available to be able to use, which is very unique for I guess life insurance policies, because most people don't think about those parts of it.
Yeah.
With a universal life policy, though, for example, you can just take the money out, and it's your money, so you can do whatever you'd like with it.
Wow.
So yeah, they are great policies. They do grow very quickly.
And it's and that type of policy, if you will, I'm just going to use, like, you know, I guess common language here, because you know, now I know, Rob, why she destroyed your colonies there. So, but what I'm going to say is, so if you had one of those policies, Mar, you could still have a benefit in place in case something happened, right? In case you died.
Absolutely.
So if you even took a loan against it, you'd have something still protecting you and your family if something happened to you, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, that's good to hear. So, you know, for those of you who might be watching this on the replay, definitely reach out and sign up or schedule an appointment and at least sit down and hear what she has to say. Now, let's transition a little bit. I'm not sure how far you guys can talk about this, but I think I heard that Rob has got his license or is getting his license. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, I've had my licenses since Mara opened. So when she was opening, as I mentioned earlier on, she talked about life insurance for like 5 years when we were in Ireland. So when she was opening her office in 2020, I said, you know what? I want to be there for all of this. I'm going to go out and get my life license. And I remember laughing about, I bought the course. I was reading it. I was like, Mara, I know all this stuff. I'd never studied it. I was like, I know this stuff. And she's like, I know, I've been training you for 5 years. You just didn't know. I was like, okay. I felt like the Conor McGregor of life insurance at the time. And so I was there from day one with her office. What really hit me was that made me want to open my own office, in which I'm opening in January 1st now, coming up. I remember after Hurricane Ian, I think you remember that coming through. You know, when was that? November?
That was September of 2022.
September. And Mara had us in the next day after that, calling absolutely everybody in our book who had a homeowner's policy or a renter's policy with us, just to make sure they were okay, that their property was okay, and help them with the claims process. And I mean, it was a day of grinding and grinding, but we had people come into the office that day whose roof had blown off. Their kitchen was turned into a swimming pool, and they were devastated. And we were able to write them a check that day to get them out of their home into safe accommodation. And I saw the difference it made. And it was literally that day. At the end of the day, I was exhausted. The whole team was exhausted. And we all just looked at each other and we basically gave ourselves a round of applause because we changed lives that day.
Wow.
And to tack on to that, I know that night we came home, we were texting our neighbors. They were saying, how was everybody? And our neighbors all got really annoyed because they're, I'm not going to mention other companies, but their company didn't call them. And now they're all with State Farm because they just love that personal, it's a dying thing. The local agent, the local advisor, whatever you want to call it. It really is a dying art and it's sad. And I love it. State Farm is doubling down on it. They're saying, no, we want to get more people into the communities. I'm the first agent to be assigned to Winter Haven since 2016, I believe.
Wow.
And the one other thing with myself now is State Farm has changed direction as well, which I actually really love. So they've always protected everybody. I want to protect all your stuff. And then they also protect your family's future should you pass away. But now they're going a different route where they're doing mutual funds. So I'll be doing mutual funds, annuities, all kinds of stuff to, help you build for your future as opposed to just protect. So we're State Farm are attacking it from 3 different directions, which I really love.
So in other words, if someone comes and signs up for the hat trick, I heard that you might even serenade them with a little bit of a sax play or something.
I'll have to blow the dust off the sax and bring it down.
So you're opening up the office, your office in Winter Haven, and that's going to be in January, right?
That's in January, yeah. So I'm opening in Miller's Landing, so literally just across the road from the old headquarters, the regional headquarters.
Wow.
And it's amazing. It's amazing down there. Almost anywhere I go, somebody has been with State Farm. Almost everybody's had a family member working for State Farm in Winter Haven. It has such a rich history, and incredible to be part of it. Everyone knows it. I almost don't have to put a sign up because just everybody knows State Farm in Winter Haven.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. You'll have to let us know when you have your grand opening, your ribbon cutting, or whatever you have, and we'll come and maybe even shoot some Winter Haven TV live there and show everybody off the new office. And maybe you'll have the sax there as well. I don't know. It sounds like maybe you might. So we'll anticipate that. So that'll be awesome. So excited about having you open that office there in Winter Haven, and you guys really kicking it off. What is it like to? Are you guys going to be like almost in a little bit of competition? I mean, it sounds like that's how your relationship started. It's going to continue to be that way. Is this going to be a competition, like in a good way, between the 2 offices?
For sure, it'll be nice, friendly competition. I mean, so yes, we started off warring, which was great, and then when Mara opened, I became her office manager, but also her biggest cheerleader for 3 years now. And but now it's back to the battlefield for a while, I think.
Awesome. Well, listen, guys, you guys have been great. Anything else you guys want to tell anyone how they can get a hold of you? I know we posted in the profile, in the post, a link to Mara's Facebook page for her State Farm. And so if you guys want more information, how to get a hold of her and be able to reach out to her, schedule an appointment, sit down with her and go over anything she offers, you could click on that and get a hold of her. Any other way you guys want to mention here for people to get a hold of you guys?
Well, we have a website. Rob can't have his website or his Facebook page active and live yet. So that's coming January. It'll kind of all hit all at once. My website is agentmara.com.
Let me put that in there. agentmara.com.
Yep. It's the reason is that nobody can spell Geraghty. Nobody can pronounce Geraghty. It just wasn't going to go anywhere. Gotcha. So it's agentmara.com. Another thing we would like to mention as well is that if anybody does watch this and does call us for a quote and we can't give them a quote and they mention Winter Haven TV that they saw us here, that we will donate $10 to Winter Haven TV.
Okay. Well, we're not a charity. You can donate it to anywhere else. So
Well,
But
a
we
charity of your
appreciate that.
choice then.
Yeah, charity of their choice. So definitely thank you for doing that so that the people can be incentivized. But for sure, thank you guys for doing that. So guys, reach out to these lovely folks here, Mar and Rob, and sign up to get a consultation to find out how you could get a better life insurance policy or one to start with, and find out how you can get your home, your car, and all those things covered. That way you're with a great company that pays their policies and takes care of their people. It sounds like they've done a great job with this last hurricane they went through. And it sounds like you guys would be in good hands with these two folks here. We appreciate you guys coming on today.
We appreciate you. And thank you for all the great work you guys do there.
Thank you. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you guys for watching Winter Haven TV. We'll see you guys on the next episode right here at Winter Haven TV.
Thank you.